All right, it's taking a second. I have no idea if this ends up in the live or not. Kind of looks like it. So we'll let everybody come in and we're going to get started. Today, I would love to talk to you guys about, and it looks like we're good to go. I would love to talk to you guys a little bit about the Design Business Conference we had last week. So, not only was it daylight savings on Sunday, but like my whole team is like trying to get back and going. I'm going to share some photos with you guys, which is why I'm doing this from YouTube today. And I'm just really excited to be able to show you some of the cool things going on and that we had going on. We did make some special announcements at the conference that we cannot announce yet, but just know there are like lots of things coming up that'll be really cool. All right, so the first is I have to give a shout out to our, if you can see this, I can give a shout out to our sponsors for the event. Of course, Karina Gardner Inc., the University of Arts and Design, and Design Suite was a sponsor. Most of the people who came to this event were Design Suite members, but I have to give a shout out to Silhouette, who had amazing stuff for the swag bags, also gave stuff to the VIP, Caesar, and Expressions Vinyl. They gave us some adorable stuff that went directly into the swag bag, and then 12 by 12 cardstock shop. They actually went out of their way and put together these darling little packets. Like there were these, they had like folded things up and put them in twine, and it was so, so, so cool. So we were super excited that they were able to share with us. If you're here live, just say hello in the chat. I know it's Monday morning and I just want to say, well, I should talk about the fact that we ended up not going live on Friday and I had every intention to. So I really recommend that if you have a chance to watch what we did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of last week, we couldn't go live on Friday and I can't get into very many details of it, but we had an emergency with a member which ended up taking up a amount of time for my team and myself. And we just decided it was far more important than going live on YouTube. Um, because of this event that happened, I was even more impressed with our community and everybody who helped. Without getting into the details, I just will say that my coaches spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time, but unbelievably, like our members spent a lot of time to help this person get things going. And if anything, Friday day, seeing everybody band together to help and make sure that everything was okay, it was unbelievable. It really was. It was a rough week because of that, but it also felt like this week where like every person in the room I was in love with more. Like I could feel like that love for them and how much they cared about other people here. I, you know, I got really lucky because I have a really great community. They're kind, they're caring, they're hard workers. Um, as I see them in Design Suite, as I've seen my students in the university, um, I recognize that that is what sets these people apart, like the things that they do in order to take care of one another, help each other, give, take as much as they get. And we saw that in spades at this conference. I was more than once in tears as I saw everybody banding together. And I just want to say, if you were watching this and you were a Design Suite member or you were a conference member that came, we had people who weren't Design Suite members who came to this conference and they helped and loved just as much as everybody else. It was pretty unbelievable. I do want to give a shout out though to Miley, Susie, and Tracy, who did above and beyond in keeping me notified about things, texting me about things, and making sure that we were on the right track. So, man, oh man, I just love you guys and what you guys were doing. So, Also, I should say this on this note. I believe Tracy and Susie did. So we do something funny. We have an exclusive podcast. It's called Design Your Life, and it's $33 a month, and it's private, and it goes out to all Design Suite, and it goes out to the university. And actually, now it's in the marketing for Creatives membership, so it's like you get that podcast as well. But then there are lots of people who just subscribe to the podcast, and they pay for it separately. Um, we we do something at the end of that called Coaches Unfiltered. And actually, you guys, those of you who are watching in real time, next month, check out the coaches do podcast episodes, and I do a Karina Unfiltered. But basically, what they do is talk about the episode and kind of their experiences with it. And it's just fun. It's pretty fun. And Tracy and Susie, when we did the Design Suite Mastermind piece, we actually went live with it. So I recommend you go watch it. It was for just directly for Design Suite Mastermind, and we actually had Design Suite Creative come as well. And it was like all the things that we saw, people, strategies. You didn't catch the first 30 minutes of it. That was private. But then we went live for the last 30 minutes, and we answered questions, and we talked about a few things. So you can watch that here on the YouTube channel. So Susie and Tracy did their own, like Susie members, like Design Suite members, unfiltered. And if I have a chance, I'm hoping that I can link it and that I can put it on this channel. So if you want to watch the Design Suite members unfiltered, I've only watched a little piece of it, and I'm excited to watch the rest of it in this next little bit. So pretty cool. All right, let's do some more sharing. So registration that day was madness. And I'm going to see if I can share here. This was kind of our setup. We were set up. I was like so thrilled. We were set up. There's Susie right there, Emily, um, in the garden room at Ashton Gardens at Thanksgiving Point. It's such a beautiful venue. We had a classroom downstairs. We had a big glass room upstairs, which was beautiful windows. It's just a really beautiful setup, and had such a great time. So we had VIP and then regular, lots and lots of really good stuff in the swag bags. We put in like my possibility journals, which you can get on Amazon, and just like all this wonderful stuff from the sponsors, Silhouette, Caesar, and let's see if I can find for you guys more of this venue so you can kind of see how pretty this venue was. Here we go. I have no idea. I'm like just grabbing videos, like we'll do a YouTube channel video on this. But look how pretty this venue is. Oh, I guess we're having an up close here on Veronica. So just a really great venue, and it was like very rainy, very wet, and anyway, just really, really great. So the schedule went a little bit like this. We actually, I'm just gonna keep talking to you guys about it as I pull things up so you guys can see. They're like 10-second clips here, but we actually started with a keynote address on the first day and introduced the theme, which was my possibilities are limitless. So we did a lot with limitless and possibilities. We had people had the ability, we had like folders in everybody's bag so that they could build out their own possibility folder. They had the journals so that they had prompts, and we just had a ton of like stickers and memorabilia and really wonderful things like that for them to use. And we did that first thing in the morning. Then we went into classes, and it was so funny because one of the members who's not a Design Suite member said, "I thought this might be just fluff." We're like, "Well, was it?" She was like, "No," because I do like to do a lot of making sure that you're good, that design work is, like what you're trying to do with your life is great. But then we dug into the classes. And the classes are tough, I'm not going to lie. So, our first day, Asia was downstairs doing Procreate all day. So, our first two sessions were Procreate. Then we had a morning session with Julie, and I did go live during that. And you guys, like, I happened to catch on camera. She showed you how to use scripts in Design Suite. I mean, it's like AI wrote a script for her. It's like so cool. I've never seen anything like it. For the last 20 years as a designer, we've been hand writing in all of our numbers into calendars, and she had a script that built it for her. I just, you guys, like, go watch that live because I happened to catch it on the live last week. So last Thursday. Go watch it. It's so cool. And so we're bringing the technical into you guys, trying to help you learn the software. And then I had a session on Illustrator in the afternoon, which was really, really fun. The other thing I did every day is a meditation. Those of you who have the Design Your Life podcast, which I will try to give a link in the description of this afterwards. The Design Your Life podcast is interesting because it's like kind of an inside scoop of everything going on. So, what I'm going to do on that podcast is that we did two meditations. We did one the first day, and then we did one the second day, and the second one was good. And so we did it the third day as well. And I'm going to tape those for the Design Your Life podcast as bonus episodes. Just like the openness, everyone's telling me we need to have a meditation channel. Maybe at some point I'll do some meditations on the YouTube channel. Tell me in the chat if that's something that you would really like, because I think they can be really helpful. I listen to meditations, just help get my brain in a positive, good space. Okay, like what else could I show you guys? Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can share without sharing my whole screen. Can I share? Let's see if I go like this. Oh, I have to actually pull it up. Look how cute these. They're like, honestly, Christy was the queen of taking pictures all weekend. She's the blonde in the middle. That's Alicia, Vivica, and Tiffany. Like, just the picture taking and the excitement to see each other and all the good things everybody was doing. It was just really, it was so fun. So that was day one. We had an end note with everybody. Then we had a VIP dinner. And I am going to show you guys pictures from the VIP dinner if I can find them, because it was just really fun. We had it at the Harvest Room. Oh, here's me. I'll show you guys this video teaching, and I wonder if I can turn up the volume or if I will get feedback. I might get feedback, so I don't know that I can. But this is me teaching Illustrator on the background of what I was working on. So we did have a VIP dinner in the Harvest Room. That was really nice because when I do those, it's a more intimate setting. So my husband and my son came, they asked questions to me. And, I just kind of answer. You guys maybe don't know this because I'm not so crazy about this in terms of like publicly, because this is on YouTube, anybody can see it. And I will tell you that in private settings, I am extremely honest. People I tell them about my background. Here's the VIP dinner. Things that they're asking about, what we did in our business. I mean, we do that in Design Suite anyway. But I'm pretty honest about what works, what doesn't work, the timing of things, and then my personal life. Had a lot of questions about my personal life, and actually Josh answered some of those. Josh is right here in the very back here, like the only guy in the room. So I liked this VIP because we got to really do this. I'm also grateful for the VIP because we had a member in the VIP where tragedy hit in the middle of the night, and we had a number of things going on. So thankfully on day two was our project day. So we were actually making stuff. So that meant it was like a full day of planners and a full day of SVG and banners. So I wasn't teaching that day, which worked out really well. So I could be with our member that was going through a hard time. And then what we were able to do is they were able to print out their planners, print out their banners, and everybody made these really cool projects. That was like that whole day. Then I came back to Ashton Gardens. We did another meditation and a send off, and then we did the VIP. And the VIP this time, we did the alter ego effect by Todd Herman, I believe, and just talked about it. We had purchased the book for everyone to have, and I had written into it for everyone. And it was a fun way to, you know, have everybody kind of dig in to, dealing with how do we step into our best selves. And that was incredible and so cool. So you can see we kind of do a mix of like things that I would call are a little bit fluffy or woo-woo, but are like actually really helpful. It's like mindset stuff. And then the technical stuff, which we were doing all day long. There's only so much technical you can do at a conference like this because you just get burned. Like you're so tired, you're so burned, from like being in InDesign or Illustrator or Photoshop all day long or Procreate. Okay. Day 3, we actually had 2 classes in the morning that we decided not to do because everyone was still working on their SVGs and planners. And I always forget how long it takes to finish these projects. So what we did instead is I met with lots of people individually. We are going to pre-tape those 2 classes, Shara and Julie are pre-taping those classes, and we are going to send them out to everyone at the conference so they can watch them separately. And I think that will work out really nicely. And then in the afternoon, we did a mastermind where we did business strategy. Let me see if I know there's actually a ton of video me on this because of me doing this because I really wanted to make sure that we were good. This is the VIP group. I'm going to show you guys this for our one session that we did together. We pulled up into a circle so that we could talk through all the different things, which is really, really cool. And I'm looking for my mastermind session, which I cannot find. Oh, I can't show you guys that. Well, let me show you guys this piece. But in the morning, before I did my mastermind session, we have had a lot of changes in our programs. And most people don't realize this, but we have 4 different programs. And so that's kind of what I went over. We went over, as you can see here, Design Suite Creative is our new section of Design Suite Mastermind. And so we do Design Suite Creative and Design Suite Masterminds, our Design Suite like ensemble. And then we have Marketing for Creatives membership, MCM. We have another thing that most people don't know about. We only do in January. In fact, we rarely market it. And this year we might market it. It's called a Creative Entrepreneur Mastermind. It's actually small group and it's limited spots. So that's why we didn't have to market it because all the spots got filled. So that's CEM. It's only done in January. It's small group and it's with me. We do that every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And so we had people from CEM at this conference as well. So we have MCM, CEM. Do you like all the DS, which is Design Suite? And then we have the University of Arts and Design. So those are the 4 programs that we do. And somehow we have managed to, I think for the most part, run under the radar, which is funny for a marketing person to say, but we've kind of like, I mean, you can't even get into Design Suite unless you come to a design boot camp. So that means everybody doesn't know pricing. People don't know what we do. And in some ways, it's kind of this awesome thing because we know our designers are kind of like the top rung, because they're just building, 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 building. We do it under the radar, which is kind of how I've done my entire career, which is funny to think about. Before I started 4 years ago, not even 4 years ago, teaching to designers outside the industry, I was teaching to designers in the industry. So people who knew me, and this was so funny, people who know me are people in the industry. They own scrapbooking companies, they own fabric companies, they own things, and then they're designers. I've worked with their designers, and people don't realize that because it's an industry, right? And so when I started teaching to public, and you could come into a program, it was kind of like people just had no idea who I was until they would look at their stash and be like, oh my gosh, I have someone told me they had an entire glamper full of Karina Gardner fabric. And I was like, Yes. Or they'll look in their stash and they're like, oh my gosh, this is all Karina Gardner paper. Or they've bought stuff, at Nordstrom or mini loose stuff, or they've bought stuff in where else? Like dishware at like Deseret Book. I mean, like, so I'm in industry, and that has really served me well. And especially as we've quietly kind of built up this huge number of designers who are just like, I mean, really rocking it in the industry. So you have to come to a design boot camp to learn about Design Suite. So it's kind of a crazy cool thing. Um, okay, what else was I going to tell you about? So I taught a vertical and horizontal strategy on, let's see if I can find a video or a picture on that, but I don't see it. We also made a huge announcement, made a very huge announcement to them about what our 2026 live event is. We anticipate that event, it only has 30 spots to sell out in a matter of hours. And so I cannot release that here. We're going to release it by tier. We're going to let people know about it. So conference people will hear about it first. Design Suite will hear about it second. The rest of our programs will hear about it third, and then we'll release it to public. We suspect there will be a wait list for it, but I would say keep an eye on this channel because we will release it publicly here. And if there are a few spots available, I would say run to it because based on just the number of people in the room there, it's going to go really quickly. So we're really, really excited about. I feel very, very blessed for the opportunity to do what we're going to do. So keep your eye here on it, or the other place you might hear about it first is on our newsletter. So if you go to designsuitecourses.com/free, I really recommend you get on our newsletter. We give you free stuff every single week. We have a Tuesday email. We're kind of switching things up, but like our big announcements go in there. And that's how people are able to get into whatever we're trying to do as quickly as possible. The reason we suspect this is because other friends of ours have sold out within 3 hours of these events that we are about to do. We have also sold out of other types of events we've done in a very quick amount of time, like CEM. And so we don't end up publicly letting people know about it. So if you want the inside scoop, usually for sure, those of you who are in the programs, that'll come first. But furthermore, just getting on our newsletter list, you will hear about things as it comes out quicker than everybody else. Okay. Okay, what else could I say about this event? We ended in a huge group hug. Oh my gosh, I just love these women so much. I was gonna say on our first night, we had a Stars and Elite meeting. Those are kind of upper echelons of Design Suite. And in walks the owner of Adorn It, who I haven't seen for 8 years, right? And they own fabric, they have retail stores and clothing, they do wonderful things. And she was like, Karina Gardner. And I was like, oh my gosh, Carol Lee. And we start talking. By the way, Design Suite, I'm gonna get a hold of her. I think she'll do a guest expert for you guys and talk to you about the cool things that they do. And might be looking for some designers. So that's kind of fun. So those of you that that are in industry, one of the coolest things is once you build all these networks and communities, that really makes a huge difference. We try very hard not to just give cold leads to our designers, but try to build relationships. We had several designers get good deals with a number of different manufacturers that we have good relationships with. Sometimes I see out there, people will give you a list. A list is rough, you guys. Like a list of like places that you can go. Like that's not a connection. That's not a network. And so that's why we love to work with our designers because we like to give them connections and networks that really work. All right. I hope you enjoyed this overview and a few of these pictures. It's been so lovely to see you guys today. I hope I get to see you tomorrow. I'm actually traveling this week. I'm going to a wedding. And if you miss me, that is why. But hopefully, I'm going to be on every day so you can come check out what I'm doing. And I get to introduce you to, you get to see like the background of like what's happening in my life, get off a business conference and right back to things, but then also like headed out of town for some wonderful things. So, gonna go to a wedding. Anyway, you guys